All right, Shalom. Start first by giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakodash. Double honor to the elder apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect. Shalom. Quick commentary, and it's going to be like a lamb back, basically off the elder apostle Tahar's video. When I saw it, I was thinking about this topic already, but I was able to just do the commentary on it, not really pull scriptures, but just kind of talk about the effects of seed. And it was funny as I watched this video by the elder apostle Tahar, I realized he was going to mention it because you know how thorough the elder apostle is. But he mentions it. The seed comes from the man. Okay. When you look at how a nation lives and how everything that comes from a nation comes through the man, because when you set it up, and that's why these other nations know this, man. These other heathen nations, they know this. It's only us Israelites that have our nation out of order. Okay, but as you see, the Chinese, like he's saying, the Chinese in particular, or use as an example here, they're laying their seed into the so-called African women, or the African women, the Hamite women, over there in East Africa. Why are they doing that? And like he said, they're going to make that region of people obedient unto them, because that's going to be their children. It's going to be their seed. The men are laying it in the women, right? And whatever seed you lay down is what prospers out of it. It's clear. It's easy as day in horticulture and agriculture. It's easy to know that when you plant a seed in any soil, depending on how fertile the soil is, whether the seed takes or not. When the seed does take the enrichments of that, then you have the fruits of that seed. You don't have the fruits of the earth that you planted it in, maybe the nourishment of it, but not the actual seed. If you plant apple seeds, guess what's going to come up? Apples. If you lay down oranges. Plums and plums. So Chinese laying their seed in these African women is going to come up with African, dark-skinned, by the way, dark-skinned African men. Dark-skinned Asian men. Chinese men. That's the way this thing works. Okay, whatever seed is planted inside of a woman is what happens. That's why, to understand the true breakdown of the Gentiles and in the New Testament, so to speak, those are Hellenists. Those were people that may look like a different nation. That's why when you go to Acts the 2nd chapter, it breaks it down that how we hear the word of the Lord in every tongue. Where we came from, well, it's because it gravitated to your spirit because you were an Israelite, so the word of the Lord gravitated unto you. But the Lord knew that you were scattered throughout all the nations, so He had you had His men. He gave them the spirit of speaking in different languages, or speaking in tongues, as you would want to say, as it should be said, speaking in tongues, that you could hear the word of the Lord in your own language. Okay, well, because the men of our nation, as we scatter, we still lay seed with the women of where we scattered from. Okay? So that's why it doesn't matter what you actually look like. What matters is where your spirit comes from. So if you have a spirit of a Chinese man, like these Chinese men that are really the Moabites, if they're not confusing the face, but they actually are Chinese, guess what? They now have Chinese children that look African over there. Okay? But it's determined by the male seed. When you have a daughter, that's whatever your daughter is what her father was. Okay? If you have a son, it's whatever the father was. It's just that simple. When you go into husband, the word, or it goes back to the word husbandry. When you go into the word husbandry, it's a farmer. Someone who plants seeds. Okay? You guys got to look up the meaning of these words. Here at Great Millstone, we were taught to go into these words, to break down these words, to go into the etymology and the different languages of these words, to get the deeper understanding. And it's basically that. When you plant a seed, like that's why I want to bring up the Dark Ages. Because when Jake was over there in Europe amongst going into to the Byzantine Empire, coming out of the Greco-Roman Empire, what happened? The Greeks were ruling before then, and then the Romans were ruling before then. Well, there was a lot of Edomites over there ruling in that area. Well, they still had Jake in captivity, right? So the Jakes that were there, then they came into power with Septimius Severus and so on and so forth. When Jake came into power, they were still amongst those same people, but they were ruling. So they were still popping these other women, the women of the other nations, particularly the so-called white women. That's why when you go to Italy, who do you think the book of Romans is written to? White Italians? Edomite Italians? No. Cornelius. Do you think he was a white Italian? No. Was he Edomite? No. He was a Jake that worked as a Roman centurion. Okay? Now, does it matter what he looked like? No, because we have a deep enough understanding of the scripture that his skin color didn't matter. What mattered was, you guys got to get over that whole skin color thing. You simple Israelites, you guys need to get over that. You people in general need to get over that and start looking into the spirit of who these people really are. Okay? It don't matter if they look African, if they look white, you gotta look into the spirit. Because a real Edomite, he can only fake it for so long. Okay? Trying to be a Jake, he can only fake it for so long. And then you should be on a level now, especially if you're in the circumcision, you should be on a level now where you can look into somebody's spirit and possibly into the windows of their soul, which is their eyes, and see what that man is really all about, or that person is really all about. And if you can't look there, if you don't know how to do that, you can easily look within their actions. What's the history of their actions? Okay? But yeah, man, China's over there trying to plant seed down in Africa, man. Trying to get some pigment. They trying to man, be loyal to their country by bringing that dark seed over there. But there's still going to be Chinese people over there, because the men are laying the seed. The women are with other people too. And like the other apostle said, that's how you know a nation is destroyed. You look at our women of our nation, they'll lay with anything. So-called black women, Hispanic women, and Native American women, they'll lay with anything. Plant seed with anybody. Oh, I want good hair, so I'm gonna get with a white boy. Or I want those almond-shaped eyes, so I'm gonna get with an Asian. Looking for anything to gravitate to that has some type of an ancient culture. But that's to digress back to the point anyway. That's to say, you women, man, don't realize that you're not running nothing. You think you're running it over here, but you're still not running nothing. The power is within the men for a reason, and the seed lies within the men. The Lord's pasture is with the men. Okay? So you're going to have to get in order with that. But the point is, the seed that a man plants is what fruit shall spring up from that. Okay? So if a so-called black man puts seed in a white woman, that child is still black. Even though the kid looks light-skinned, and he pops another one and lays seed, there's the son of that man, that light-skinned man, lays seed into another white woman. These could be Edomites or Asians or whatever. All that matter, don't matter who they are. If the seed goes back to a so-called black man, then it's still a black man. Okay? It don't matter if you're from Germany, if you're from Italy, France. It doesn't matter. China. It doesn't matter. Africa. It doesn't matter. It's where your seed goes back to. That's why in the scriptures it says the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who shall be saved. That's where the blessings and the promises go to. The seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? It doesn't matter what you look like. It goes back to those people. The Lord came out of the seed of David. out of King David's lineage. Okay, his forefathers were Judites that came out of King and directly in line with King David. Okay, so I'm gonna close out, man. I mean, it's really just elementary, man. This is really common sense stuff, but for some reason we have to still put these type of lessons out there for you people, just so you understand that, hey, the Lord has a certain people that He's doing it, that He's working this magic with, so to speak, and they're all of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now it's the elect of those, so it's the chosen of the 144,000 and the 1/3. But He will bring back all of you, whether you're in the truth or not now in the kingdom of heaven, and 2/3 will know it after death by pain. And that's part of the gospel. The good news is that those that are Israelites, that have that Israelite spirit that may look like another nation, you get to come back and share the blessings. You've been in another culture for a long time because the seed looks like something else. But the original spirit of the seed goes back to an Israelite. And so you get to partake in the kingdom of heaven also. Not because you're just lucky. No, it's because you go back to being an Israelite. And He said all Israel may be saved. Okay? I'm talking about saved in the kingdom of heaven, not saved from salvation of World War III and all of this death by pain stuff. Alright, so I'm going to close out giving all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakak. Double honor to the elder apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the house of David. Hey, who you lay your seed in, your spirit still comes forth, man. And just on a side note, we got to make sure we're choosing better women to lay our seed within, because some of those traits still come up, but the seed still goes back to an Israelite. Okay? With that, I say shalom.